this issue is starting to become one of the more important discussions that Chico is starting to have. So if you've lived in Chico for any amount of time, you've probably heard about the Green Line. But today we're gonna talk about what is it, why was it put there, and could it ever be modified? So what is the Green Line? The Green Line is a line that was drawn in 1982 to separate the urban side of Chico from the farms and ranches and those kinds of things. The idea behind it was to protect the fertile soil and the ag land from being developed into residential and commercial property. So back in the early 80s, it was kind of a unique coalition of both farmers and environmentalists working together to draw this line. Now, farmers tend to be a little more conservative, whereas the environmentalists can tend to be a little more liberal. So the working together is kind of a unique partnership. And the idea behind it was to have Chico grow more to the east and to the north, but not to the west. And so environmentalists like this because it kind of cut down on urban sprawl and that kind of a thing, making things grow in one direction rather than both directions. And the farmers also liked it because it kind of protected their ag space and the fertile soil. Once you develop that soil, it's really hard to get it back. And so the Chico's Green Line has stayed intact for over 40 years, which is pretty amazing. It seems almost like there's this perfect storm that's been created with various different factors to put the Green Line back on the table to discuss possibly modifying it. So what is this perfect storm and why is this discussion being had? Well, for one, Chico housing is incredibly rare. Now, just this last year, there was a project called Valley's Edge. There's as well as another one called Stonegate Subdivision, and these projects have been stopped because of environmentally concerns to the east. Just today, when you look at the single-family homes that are on the market, there are only 88 homes on the market. And for a town with over 100,000 people, that means that just 0.1% of the population can buy a house at any given time. So while the rest of the nation is experiencing kind of higher supply, Chico is experiencing a very low supply in our kind of micro market here in town. So we're starting to see this influx of demand for housing, and everyone already has a house, so there's no new houses, there's just no place to move to. And we all know that the Camp Fire just a few years ago, we lost thousands of homes, and those homes have not been replaced. So it makes the housing market extremely tight with the demand for more housing supply coming to Chico. But to build houses, obviously you need land. If it can't grow to the east, we start to say, okay, we can grow to the north. And the north has been developed quite a bit, but you can only grow so far in that direction as well. So as you see, for the general population, there's a huge demand for newer neighborhoods, more single-family homes, lower prices, more affordable homes, which could be achieved by increasing that supply to the west side. And if you notice with the Green Line, it is extremely close to the downtown city core. Now, a lot of smart growth advocates and environmentalists really advocate for a tight, close city core where things are walkable and bikeable. This means a close proximity to the downtown city core, and that can only be achieved by building not on the east or way up to the north, but on the west side where lots are maybe 1 to 2 miles from the downtown city plaza. Now, what also contributes to the perfect storm of talking about the Green Line is the farmers. Now, originally farmers were very much for protecting that ag space and that dirt because it is so valuable. Now with the price of almonds and walnuts very, very low, many farmers are having a harder and harder time having their farms be profitable and looking for some kind of exit strategy. And being able to sell lots to a developer rather than another farmer who really can't earn that much on that farm makes an incentive to a farmer to say, hey, I would love to sell my land to build a new neighborhood. So on one side, you have the environmentalists wanting a tight commercial core, which is possible by growing to the west. And you have farmers who I think at least a percentage of them would be interested in entertaining offers from home developers. So you could see the reasons why to relook at the west side. How much land? How was this line drawn? Who drew this line anyways? That kind of argument and debate is starting to come up. Now, obviously there's the other side of the coin, and there's a great reason to oppose moving or shifting this Green Line. One of them is that soil is one of the top 1% of soils in the entire world. And once you develop it, you can't go back. So that moving the Green Line would have a permanent effect. And also you're always gonna have the NIMBYs, right? The people who already own in that area and they have 5-10 acres in their house and they're very happy with it. They don't necessarily want a cul-de-sac neighborhood infill going in right next door to them. So that could be tricky as well. And lastly, something that's on everyone's mind is the infrastructure. Does Nord Avenue and certain Highway 32, does it have the capacity to take on more traffic, especially during peak traffic times of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.? I mean, there are certain areas of Chico that were not thought out to have growth. Take, for instance, East Avenue, or parts of 20th Street, or Eaton Road. These were kind of more rural farmlands that grew tremendously, and there are some choke points and some headaches with traffic at certain times of the day. Now, obviously, we're not the Bay Area or Sacramento. We don't have great traffic, but it is kind of annoying to miss a stoplight or have to wait, 5 or 10 minutes or so in one direction. So in conclusion, you can see there is a lot of rumbling right now. Now, there's nothing on an official agenda that I'm aware of where we're going to discuss modifying the Green Line. But the ground rumblings, the grassroots movement to relook at the Green Line in light of Valley's Edge being shot down, in light of the housing market, in light of farming industry being more and more open to sell their land to developers, in light of the environmentalists wanting a tight, compact city core close to downtown, you're starting to see this kind of perfect storm where I see the Green Line is on the table more than it ever has been. But with any development and any discussion of development, you can guarantee there will be a battle, and it will not be an easy fight to bring up modifying the Green Line. But as always, I'd like to have that debate here. What do you think? Are you for looking at modifying the Green Line based on all these circumstances? Or are you on the other side and saying, hey, look, this Green Line is sacred, we shall not cross, or even consider looking at this Green Line? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them. So comment in the section below. Let's start the debate right now. And as always, if you could just like the video, that helps me out tremendously. Subscribe for more content about the city of Chico. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.